Hello guys, how's it doing? I hope you're well. I am literally at a pre-meet, or before everyone else, which is at Willand down in Cullompton. And today I just thought I'd do a final video to kind of, for once, end the series of one of my project cars properly, because they never end properly, and normally they end with the car breaking up. So this is the first time a car, or one of the few times a car is ended, not broken. But what I'm going to do is quickly run through a few of the mods that have been done in the past few previous months that I haven't updated you guys about, so you can see where the car's at when I'm finished with it, and yeah, discuss why I'm getting rid of it, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So here goes nothing. Okay guys, so the car is dusty. I have been driving pretty far. I've driven an hour and a half here, so don't judge me if the car's dirty. It is pretty clean though, I will say. So there's two things that have been done probably in the past month and a half. Leading up to the time, which is, you know, Monday when I get rid of the car. So two things you should be able to spot. Well, one, well, I don't know actually. I'd say they're both not too obvious, to be fair. The first one is, we were on M Sport suspension, M Sport stock shocks with some Lurin springs, but we are now on coilies, if you couldn't tell. So these are a set of AP coilovers, they're about 600 quid new. And I must say they have completely transformed the car. I would highly recommend AP as a coilover brand. I've had them before on my Peugeot and they were freaking awesome. So you can see the fitment is pretty damn good. The handling is insane. It is night and day, the difference between them. You know, it helps to keep those rear wheels gripping the ground better. The handling is superb, and there's a lot less recoil in the suspension as well. I must say, in all fairness, that the suspension before was pretty worn out and was squeaking and creaking, and it was good to have a fresher replacement on there. So they're not camber adjustable with the top mounts and things like that, but you've still got obviously all the stock adjustments on them, as said. And then the second one, which is probably quite dirty underneath here by now, but underneath here, I don't know if you can see this, might have to get a bit closer, we have a set of 335i/335d front calipers, which are a 448mm disc. You can't really see them too well behind here, but those have been put on, and they were an awesome upgrade. For those that are looking for a cheap brake upgrade, I'd highly recommend them. They are freaking awesome, and they've been really good. In fact, they are not much lighter than the stock setup, so the stock is 330 on the front. But I think these calipers are made out of, I don't know what material, I don't want to lie to you, but they are made out of a lighter material, so they're not actually very heavy considering the size. You can see the size on them. I'm trying to get them through there. You know, they are pretty big. And that are our modifications, that is. So as we're here guys, I thought we'd do a final walk around of my 2006 E87 130i, so you can see where I got it to in future reference if it's ever owned by another person, another YouTuber, etc, etc. You can use this video to be informed. If you've seen the previous video that was done by Jamie FYD, absolute solid guy. Look at his YouTube, it was done about 6 months ago now. You'll be able to see the complete difference and the complete change between this car and what it was before. So guys, it has been an amazing, pretty much almost 6 months with the BMW. It has got me in a lot of trouble, I must admit. I think it is definitely something to do with BMWs that does cause you to drive like a bit of an imbecile. So I will admit, it hasn't helped my driving rep at all. But it's been a fun experience. The plate, as you can see, we'll be seeing that plate again. That'll be coming with me on Monday. That will be on my new vehicle, and I will do a new project video on that one whenever it so happens to be, whenever I can fit it in. You'll probably see this in about 2 weeks time, but I mean, I try and prioritize it so it's kind of in date format, but I'm literally like here with the videos, and they are like gone. So anyway, back to the car. Yeah, it's been an awesome car. I'm swapping it for a vehicle of similar value, a completely different vehicle, completely in every single way, brand, all sorts. I mean, you're gonna look at it and be like, some of you, 50% of you, be like, what the hell? What have you done? The BMW was amazing. You've gone to that. Like, what are you doing? And then the other 50% would be like, do you know what? BMW is cool, but this is also cool in its own way. So it is very different and very out there. The next one I'm going for. So stay tuned for that. So for all those that are asking, there are a few reasons why I have got rid of the BMW. The first one being is the fact that it is, I just must admit, it is just too small. You know, the car events are getting to a point now where they're getting way too big, and the amount of stuff I've got to fit in the car is too much. So not only am I getting the car filled up, but I am starting to find that I'm damaging the leather in the back, and I'm, you know, occasionally hitting the car and denting the car, and I don't want to ruin what is a beautiful car inside and out. Another reason is as well, life changes. I'm soon to be beginning a remapping business, kind of alongside Beyond City Car Meets, car programming and things like that. And unfortunately, this car's running costs, which again is understandable, is going to cost way too much to make that viable. So that again is another reason why the BMW has to go. Yeah, so that is my reasons why the BMW is gone. I have loved the experience, and you know, it is a shame because I spent a lot of time and money on it, but you know, needs and must at the moment. And I think the three main reason as well as funds at the moment. This new vehicle will be cheaper to run, should, you know, be costing me less in parts, fuel, tax and so forth. So just stepping back from the BMW life at the moment, because at least I'm finding myself basically at the moment, you know, if something does go wrong with the BMW, I'm not going to be able to fix it, let's be honest with you. And one of these cars are going up in value, and they need to be looked after, otherwise they just do not work. You have to maintain an N52 really well to get the best out of it, and I'm going to admit to myself now that I don't think I'm going to be able to afford the upkeep of the car in the next year or so as it currently stands. So life does change and things will be better, but for now that is my kind of final reason why the BMW has to go. So anyway guys, this car's turning up to the pre-meet now, so I've got to go in a minute, but the owner of this vehicle now is going to be, believe it or not, a 51-year-old guy. He's going to remove some of the stickers. I'm going to raise suspension back up for him as well. And yeah, so he'll be over in Wales. You may well see it around. Obviously I won't have my stickers on there, but look out for those wheels. That's a good sign it's my car. Look out for that front bumper. There's not too many of those on the hatchback, so keep an eye out for that bumper there as well. Probably the grills. Yeah, just keep an eye out for it. So I'm feeling brave, and while we're here, I remember that I didn't finish. I never got to review the car either, it just shows you how busy I am, but I didn't finish. I did the 5 things I hate, so I'm going to do quickly in one video without stuttering and making wrong gestures and all sorts. I'm going to do the 5 things off the top of my head anyway that I love about the E87 135. So the first one is going to be, of course, the freaking engine, the N52. If you get them before 2006, you're going to get the magnesium valve cover, which is the one with the silver trim. Sometimes the trim on top of the engine can be mixed around or is missing, so look out for that metal rocker cover versus the plastic in the, you know, in the N54 latter. That engine's freaking awesome. The most powerful variant is, at the age mine is, below 2006, and that is the one to go for. It is the engine that everyone wants. Super reliable. It's got less of direct injection and high pressure fuel pump issues that the newer engines do. So for starters, that engine is awesome. It is like VTEC, but I would say it's not as aggressive. It's very linear, but I would say you actually, no offense to this Honda guys, I do love Hondas, but unlike Honda Civic, this does go quite well. I'm gonna get stabbed now. Yeah, it does go really well, as you can imagine. A 3-litre NA in a small hatch is an awesome setup. So secondly, isn't really stock, but the LSD in this is insane. Doesn't slide too much, doesn't lock up too much, but that's down to whatever LSD you get. But the handling is insane. The rear-wheel drive, coupled with the LSD and this engine up front, is an absolute beautiful recipe for absolute fun, and I love every minute of using the LSD. The third thing is, the 1 Series is very common, obviously, but I would say to you guys that it is a bit of a sleeper to an extent, but the main important thing is that it's very rare in the car world generally, and it's very rare in the car scene. So for a lot of people, they'll see it and think it's a 135i, which it isn't. You'll see them looking around the engine bay. Oh, where's the turbo at? There is no turbo, obviously. But the fact that it's unique and rare in its own sense, again, it's just something good to have in the car scene. It's good to be different. So, gonna run out of ways and angles to stand out in a minute. Oh, here we go. There it is. Oh, no, that's me in the way. So, number 4, the appreciation factor. So, if you didn't know, these 130i's, especially the pre-facelift, but any of them generally, especially manual, not so much auto, they are going up in value a lot. So, you're going to find that if you buy one now, as long as it's under 150,000 miles, although they're always going to be of a good value, as long as they're below 150,000 miles, even better if they're below 100, the value is going up like crazy. So as at the time I'm speaking now, which is obviously June in 2021, because you know times change, I expect by next year they may be worth more. Looking at how it's going, they're going to be worth more. They're currently sitting at low mileage, you're talking about 40,000 miles, are sitting at about 10-11k at the moment, you know, with obviously good quality, you know, so they are an investment in that sense as well. I can pretty much guarantee if you buy a 130i that's done less than 150,000 miles, or obviously, you know, even better if it's done less than 100, but any mileage under 150,000, I can guarantee that you won't lose your value on it in the time you own it at all. They are going up like crazy. In the 6 months I've owned it, the prices have gone up, you know, considerably anyway. So they are definitely a one to buy, to enjoy, and then sell, you know, for the same or more in the future. And lastly, what else can I say? My fifth thing I love about it. Do you know what I'm going to say? And this is more kind of brand related, but from my experience of owning it for the 6 months, the fifth thing I love about the 130i is the fact that it is a BMW. And what I mean by that is, and again, they always aren't, but it's been so reliable. I've literally had it for 6 months. I've replaced some of the things that are common problems and done some general maintenance work on it, but it's never let me down. It's never, ever, ever, ever let me down at all. I'll say this now and I'll break down on the way home back to Bristol. But I was touching some wood. There we go, guys. I never take myself seriously. Yeah, so like I said, the fifth thing is they are, if you're looking at an M52, as long as it's been looked after, mine's 120,000 miles, you know, the car's a 2006, it's not new. You would imagine there to be problems, but I've literally had no issues at all. That's the brakes, you know, previous cars have had sticky calipers and so forth, never had that issue with this. Yeah, I know it's only 6 months, but 6 months gives you enough time to have a perspective of what a car's like, and just reliability wise, it is really awesome. So again, you know, the fifth fun thing is how reliable it's been. I mean, I've made up for it with the amount of fuel I've had to put in it all the time, but it is really, really reliable. And you know, what more can I say other than it's been an incredible car? And you know, if you were to ask me, would I buy another one again? I would. I would probably get a high mileage one and weld the diff up and use it for a skidder, because that would be incredible. The sound of it is awesome. I forgot to mention that. There's so many things. The sound is awesome. The ride is really comfortable. It's just, there's so many things, but that is the 5 main things that I love about my 130i. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I know a lot of you are going to be a bit disappointed with what I get next. It is very out there. Like I said, it's complete opposite of this. And you know, a lot of you have loved the car, followed the car and enjoy it. So I really, really hope that you've enjoyed the series on this car. It's actually quite nice to actually finally have a car, the majority of them anyway, to finish with a car, finish with a project series with the car being sold. I mean, my Mazda did previously, but pretty much all of the Peugeots I own and the Lexus all ended on the scrap heap in the end. So at least, you know, this is another car that has survived the ownership of me as such. Bless its cotton socks. But yeah, it's been a freaking awesome time. I thank you once again for all the support, for watching the videos and joining in, and we'll see you hopefully again in a video this week with my new project. Bye for now.